Okay, I went out to the garage and I cut me off a piece of 2x4, and I cut it 4 1/4 high. And now I'm going to go to my Silhouette software and show you what I've done and what I'm thinking. Alright, here I thought I'd show you what I'm going to do with the block of wood. And I brought in a crow, and I'd already done it, and I decided I need to show it. So anyways, I've brought in a crow, and I'm pretending that this right here is my block of wood. And there's the crow, and I've taken the knife and I'm cutting the legs off from it. And you'll see I'm going to get the nodes, move one of the nodes over right here and make it flat. That way I can cut it out and it will set on my block of wood. And I'll be cutting the crow out of just a thin 1/4 inch piece of wood. And then this, of course, is a 2x4. And you can see I have 2 different sizes there. I'm going to delete the feet. And let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and just cut out both sizes and put it up on my piece of wood and see just exactly which one I want. And I'm just going to cut it out of some cardstock. So as soon as my machine's ready to go, I'll put my cardstock on a mat and send it through the Cameo and cut my patterns. Okay, I've traced it out on a thin piece of wood, probably a 1/4 inch, and I'll take it over to my scroll saw now and cut it out. Alright, I've got my crow cut. I decided to go with just a little bit larger size, and this is the crow, and it's only out of a thin 1/4 inch wood. And I did take a little scrap and used E6000 and glued it on, so that when I set it on my block of wood, let me turn that to the side so you can see what I'm doing. When I set it on my block of wood, and I can't get, alright, I can glue it down and it'll stay in place. So from here, I've got to figure out what I'm going to put on here. I have some things in mind, but I'm going to go figure out for sure. And I'll start painting this, but whatever I do, I'll come right back and I'm going to show you what it'll be. Okay, I have my 2x4 and my crow painted solid black. And I'm going to put this sign on a little different. I'm going to do a reverse. On that. I had some tape right across there. It didn't cut all the way through, but that's okay. I don't need it. Oh boy. That font was a little jiggy-jaggy. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but it's jagged. But this is primitive, so that's okay. Don't want that to come up. All right. That usually cuts better than that, but with that jagged font. Okay, now leave in all my eye dots. Yeah. Okay, I've got to weed this. show you what I'm going to do from here. Well, I need to let my black dry pretty good before I go on. Okay. But I can show you what I'm doing. Don't know where I put my... Let me look for my scraper. I forgot to turn off my heater, my little space heater, and it's probably a roaring in the background. There, it's off. Always has something making a noise. Okay, have that done. Now what I'll do is when this dries good, I'm going to take the heat gun to it. When it dries good, I'm going to put this on there and probably go over it in the Waverly plaster. And then pull these off. Normally I put the reverse on and dab, but this I'm going to put these down and just paint. But I'm going to let this dry a little bit. Alright, I've hit it with the heat gun. Hopefully it's ready. To make sure it's on there straight and even. Now as soon as I put it down, I'm crooked. I think that looks... Alright, don't move. Alright, did I get all my eyes, dots? Yes, there's nothing left on there. Okay, I'm going to make sure this is down on there good. Now, I'm just going to go over that with paint. And I'm using the Waverly plaster. I don't need the edges covered perfectly. Uh-oh, I think I pulled up an eye. Or is that just a... That's just something on there. Yeah, I'm going to run the heat gun over that a little bit so I can give it a little more of a coat. Okay, one more time with the heat gun to make sure it's coated well. Now I'll pull the letters off. Don't want to scratch the paint. Okay, I'm going to finish pulling these all off and make sure it's good and dry. And I'm going to go over it with a coat of Mod Podge. And then probably take some antiquing wax and go over that. So I'm going to finish pulling these off and put the coat of Mod Podge on, and I'll be back. Okay, I put a little heavier, rougher sandpaper on that. And I like the way it looks now. Now, I'm going to take my antiquing wax, and I'm going to have to get some of the Waverly. I keep saying that, but I don't make it to town. So I'm going to use the Folk Art. See what that does. Yeah, I gave it the look I wanted. Now I'll go over the rest of my black because it does give a little different color. I'll go over that, and then I'll let this dry. And then I'll need to put my crow on there and start decorating. Oh, I see a spot. I didn't remove... Okay, where's my... I have a dot still on there, on my eye. There. Scratched up some of the black. That's okay. That's okay. Doesn't show now. Straight. Alright, I'm going to put it on the rest of this and then glue on my crow with some, well, I need to put some of the wax on him too. And I'll be back from there. Okay, this is dry. I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue and this super glue, all-purpose adhesive, to glue that on. Okay. Let's see where I want that. Like that right there, a little. Okay. Hold that down with the hot glue so it goes a little flusher. It wants to stick up when you use hot glue. Okay. Now, we can start decorating it. That's down there good. First off, I want to put some moss on it. Where's my scissors? Stuff's so messy. Probably need to be at a different angle, and I think I have too much. Maybe I need to get my new pack. This looks like it's at the Remnants. Yeah, I'm going to get a different pack and put y'all at a different angle. Okay, I got some different stuff out, or a different package. I think that one's left over from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to start gluing that on there. Should have got my fingertip. Well, where's my... Oh, sorry. I cannot. It's going to be dry before I get to it. Don't want to touch hot glue. My fingers have been burnt so many times with hot glue. And I really can't maneuver it the way I like to. Get some right in there. I don't know if y'all can really see what I'm doing, but I'm just gluing this on there. I don't want it coming off all over everything. That's okay. Go a little bit right there. Got a little snow today. We need a lot of snow. Been in a very severe drought. The wheat's not coming up. It's bad. It needs grass growing out in the field for the cattle. And that's not happening. Okay, here's what I have so far. Now I'm going to start decorating. I'm going to try to pull you in just a bit, like that. Maybe that'll help. Yeah. And I really don't know. I don't have the kind of greenery that I'm really wanting, so I'm going to have to work with what I have. Yeah, that's still too tall. Okay, instead of me starting to glue, I'm going to go through here as usual, because I cannot do this on camera. Because I'll place it there, I'll pull it off, and it will take me quite a while to figure out what I'm going to use and how I'm going to do it. But I have different, I have some of this I think would look pretty in it if it's not too tall. But I'm going to have to place this stuff all around in there before I can figure out how I want it. But I'll come back and show you how I finish it up, okay? Alright, I got it finished. It took me a bit, but I found certain flowers. I went into my living room and typed some out of a bottle I had in there. And I tucked in some fabric. This is cheesecloth coffee dyed. And then some homespun fabric and a rusty star. And some pip berries, of course. And that's how it turned out. I like it. I think it's going to be cute in my bathroom. Now I'm going to start with just a plain piece of board. It's 16 inches long and 9 inches wide. And just, I'm making this to go above my cabinet. Here's what I'll be putting on the board. I'll probably use the color Twill by Folk Art and black. And the font I used was LW Vintage Sign Font. And I'm going to start trying to remember to put that on there because there's a lot of things I do and then I want to know what font I used and I cannot remember. So I'm going to try to start doing the sticky note and leaving it there so I'll know the font. Okay, I have my stencil cut out and I went around my edges of my board with the Folk Art Country Twill. Yes, Folk Art Country Twill. And then I'm going to let that dry good and I'm going to base coat the top of it with black. Well, I have my board painted black, well the face of it. The sides I painted the same color that I'm stenciling with. I got a lot of bubbles in my stencil, so I'm going to have to be careful. I need some light so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to start stenciling and get this finished. And I don't know where I'm going to go with it from there. I don't know if I want to put it above my cabinet, so I don't really need a hanger on it. So I'll probably just finish this up like that and then seal it and it'll be ready to go. But I'm going to go ahead and start stenciling and pay attention to my air bubbles so I don't get paint underneath and have a bleed. I don't like that. I'll probably even take it to the garage and sand it just a little bit on the edges also. So, but I'm going to finish doing this right fast. I'm going to let this dry just a little bit and go out to the garage and sand on it some. Well, I've sanded it. Now I've decided to put a coat of this paste finish and wax special dark again on this one. And I'll do this all over and then I'll let it dry for about 15 minutes and then I'll wipe it down real good. And that will seal it. I like this stuff because it doesn't have much of a tint, but it does darken it up some. All right, I'm going to finish doing this. Okay, husband asked for me to make something sweet for him. I hope this does the trick. Gotta cover them now and let them rise. Well, I've climbed up on a step ladder so I could show this to you because it's on, I put it up on the top of my cabinets in the corner. And I made it to go, that's when I saw that sign, I think I saw it on Pinterest. I thought, I want that because I'm about crocks, jugs, and jars. So I wanted to make one for the corner here. I'm going to try to climb down without falling. Hang on, guys. And see, it's in the corner, and I knew I'd have to get up there to really show it. All right, I got that one done. Now I'm going to start working on this board, and it's about 27 inches tall. And I think it's the back of a part of a chair. And I've taken it to the garage, and I've sanded it down. And now I'm going to paint it. And I think I'm going to use the plaster on it. And I have something that I'm going to cut out with the cameo for the top of saying, and I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the bottom to make it all come together and look good. Well, this is a type of wood that I do believe might bleed through, because it still has some kind of varnish and different things on it. I've tried to sand it down the best I can. It's really rough. So I'm going to take it to the garage and put a coat of the shellac on it, just in case. I would rather be safe than sorry. And then I'll bring it back in and give it a coat of the Waverly, I go blank, plaster color. Well, guys, I must not have given it a good coat, because like right, I don't know, can y'all see it? Right in here, it has yellowed. So I'm going to stop for the night. I'm going to let the Waverly color dry good and come back in a little later this evening. It's supper time anyway. It's time to quit. And I'm going to give it another spray of the, what was I using? Shellac. I couldn't even think. Okay, I'm going to give it another coat of shellac and let it dry overnight and start on it in the morning. All right, I gave it another coat of the shellac and then put another coat of the Waverly plaster color on, and it covered that time. And this is what I'm going to stencil on the sign. And then I think I found these, I had these, I think there was 4 in a package at the thrift store, 4 of them for $5. And I almost didn't get them, and I'm sure glad I did, because I did take, there was one that I used that was a little more oblong with the key deal. I used that on my pantry door in my kitchen, and I really like it. I did spray paint it black, and I'm not sure if I should do this one in black or just, I did go over the edges of it where it's darker with this metallic, this here, that right there. I guess kind of a rub and buff type thing. And I put that on it. I do have some black rub and buff, but I'm thinking it might need a little more color or something to it. I'm not sure. But anyways, I did get these in a package at a thrift store, 4 of them for $5. And I happened to come across them on, I don't remember what it was. I really can't remember. And they were like $40 for the set. So I got my money's worth on those, because they're nice and heavy. And they look like a key. So I'm going to stencil this on there and then figure out where I'm going to go from there. Well, I have the stencil on, and now I'm going to take it out to the garage, and I think I'm going to sand it down some. And I might put a coat of some kind of sealer on it, and then some antiquing wax. I'm just not really sure where I'm going with it, but I am going to go sand it down right fast. Well, I sanded it down some, as you can see. And then after I sanded it down, I brought it in here, and I used this Special Dark Finishing Wax, Minwax, and I use that because it doesn't go real dark. You can put it on there and let it set and wipe it down, and it doesn't go too dark. If I just wanted a little bit of an age look on it. And I like the way that turned out. Now I'll just take this here and put it on there. And I was thinking it might need something down here, but not really. If you hang something off here, it's not going to show anyway. So I'm just going to put this on there and call it good. They can hang a wreath off from it. They could hang an apron, a towel, whatever they want, or just leave it the way it is. So I'm going to put this piece here on and call it done. Well, I put my screws in, and they're silver, so I'm going to have to try to blend them in with this. So I coated them with some white paint, and then I'll take that paste wax and go over them a little bit and see how I can fix it to where they blend in. Okay, I put some white paint on them, and then I covered it with a little bit of this, let that dry, and then I went back in with this color here and just kind of dabbed on it. I'm trying to get it, yeah. I think it looks fine. It blends in well enough. Actually looks better in person than it does on the camera. So I'm going to I have to put a hanger on it, and I'm done. I know, I'm showing my face. It's a miracle, but I want to take this time to tell each and every one of you that subscribe or watch my videos, take the time to leave a comment, that I appreciate it, and thank you. And I know I've been down a few videos. I used to do about 2 a week, and now I'm down to 1, and it's probably going to stay that way for a while because spring's coming up and we have a garden. We'll start doing more on the farm. And to you ladies and gentlemen that put out a lot of videos, I commend you, because it takes a long time to do what you're doing, and then to sit and edit and make thumbnails and put them all out, have them up time after time. I guess I'm getting older and not that fast. Oh, I'm getting a message. I had to turn my head to read it. Anyways, I wanted to let you know. Thank you, and I appreciate it. And until the next one, we'll see you later.